What's up, WiseTake Nation? This is Eric coming at you once again with another how-to tutorial, and today we are going to go over the NBA data model. That's right, the NBA data model. We're going to go over that. So, how do we get there? If you are on the WiseTake homepage and you click on data, you can go to NBA model, and this will load right up, and it'll get the feed. And once this feed comes through, as you can see here, we are all popped up, ready to go. So we'll just take a quick look here at what this particular model offers. Remember, there will be more in the future, so um, we'll go from there. But on this particular page, we'll start right here with the value. So today we're saying that Kevin Durant's value based on his cost is going to be 4.72. Now, he didn't play today, and this part of the model I didn't update so that I could do this video. But anyway, this will show their value, and this is based off of what we think their projected points are going to be for the day. Of course, next you've got your player, their team, their position, their salary. This is the percent of salary that it's taking for FanDuel. So Kevin Durant would take 17% of your salary. So this just kind of keep mindful when you're building a lineup, how much you're paying or what percent of that you're paying to get those points. These average minutes that are showing, these are going to be the average minutes that they have so far. And if you watch the video on the scoring calendar that we've got, we have all of the minutes that they have played for every game so far this season, as well as points on FanDuel and DraftKings. And then we have all those weighted out. So that's where that information is coming from. This is today's projected minutes that I originally had him projected at this morning before we did the updates. So this is how many minutes that we think they're going to play for the night. This is aggregated information, so we use multiple sources as well as in-house algorithms to try to determine the best amount of minutes that we're going to see for the day. Next up, this is your average point per game. Easy to find. This is pulling from our scoring calendar, but you can find this on the FanDuel page or the DraftKings pages, respectively. Next over here is our projected points. So this is the projected points that we have them over for today. So this is what we think they're going to score. This information is based off an in-house algorithm that we have based on their recent performance, their season performance, their past performance, the defense performance, the minutes, the points per minute, the defensive points per minute. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into it for us to arrive at what we think is going to happen there. And what's kind of cool, if you look over here next, you've got your probability. So the probability in this case, this is saying that there's a 38% chance or a 38% probability that Kevin Durant would hit 49 points tonight in tonight's game based off of his matchup. You can adjust this if you don't agree. So let's say that you're like, nah, Kevin Durant's only going to score 35 points. Just type that in there, tab it over, and you'll see that at 35 points, there's now a 96% chance. If you want to get rid of what you've done, you just refresh your page. And the page will reload, and that will go back to the original projection that was out there. So you can go through and adjust all of that. Coming over here, you've got your usage. This is their season usage that we have right now for all players. So you can see how much the team is utilizing them. So your 4x, the 4x is going to show based on today's salary how many points he would need to score for him to hit 4x. In this case, it'd be 41. Next column over, the 4%. So this is going to show you so far this season how many or what percent of the time that he's actually hit 4%. So you'll see, 78% of the time of all games so far he's hit that. Come down here to Curry, and Curry's hit his 4x 84% of the time. So when you start looking into cash games and GPPs and stuff like that, this is a really good tool to look at to kind of see, are they capable of doing it? How often do they do it? If we change over their points and say, we want Kevin Durant over here to hit 60 points, okay, there's a 3% chance. But that puts him up at almost 6 times value. How often does he hit 6 times value? Well, 1% of the time. So these are kind of just a cool tool to look at to see what the probability is, what they've done, what the capability is, so that when you're trying to build those lineups, you can get a good grasp of that. Going on next, it just shows your opponent, the game time, the total over/under, the spread, your team total that you've got here. This is going to be the implied points that we think the team is going to score tonight. Same for the opponent total. Your DVP. So this will show particularly how many points per game the defense is giving up to that particular position. So these are all position based. And so you'll see that, down here with Dragic, the defense is giving up 57% or 57 points per game to point guards in that respective division. So, that's a really good thing to kind of look at there too. Your DVP versus average. This is just that kind of information of how well the defense is playing over the average defense. So anything in this column that is over 1, so in this case 1.06, they are worse than average. So you get a 6% boost in this category because Minnesota gives up 6% more points than the league average in that case. Where you go back down here to Dragic again, and he gets a 29% boost. You go down here to Lonzo Ball, and he gets a decrease by 19 or 9. No, 19. Your PPM, that's just particularly just going to show your points per minute. We've calculated the team scores, how many minutes they played, yada yada. This will show you their points per minute. Going over next, you've got your defensive point per minute. So this is how many points per minute the defense is given up to each particular position. And this will kind of just show you a plus minus for that given player. So Kevin Durant gets a 50% plus in that regard because he's got more points per minute than the defense gives up. So that's something to kind of look forward to there. Next is your pace. So this will show the team pace based on 100 possessions. Same thing with your opponent pace, and your what the pace is on your opponent's side of it, and then your pace plus minus. Last column over on the standard deviation. This is kind of something that I use and that I thought I'd put in the tool. For those who don't use standard deviation often, this kind of just gives you a rough estimate of how accurate or how consistent a player is. So in this case, where we saw Kevin Durant's particular season total, based on the way that his points have averaged out, he's got a pretty low standard deviation, which would make him safe for cash, which would make him a pretty safe player all the way around. So when you're looking at spending that 17% of your salary cap on him, what's the odds of him doing well, and kind of looking through there to see that. So that'll go through all the players on that If you scroll down on this page, this also will roll over to the DraftKings side of things, and give you the DraftKings information for all the players, and the same thing. Same rules apply. For all of this, it's all built the same. But this just kind of breaks things out, like for position 1 and position 2, and all the weights are weighted differently based on the scoring practices of DraftKings in this case. If you want to look at particular players, you can come right through here. If you click on centers, this will load up here. This will just show you all of the centers for the day. Of course, you can switch through each particular position. If you want to select multiple positions, if you're on a PC, you're just going to hold Control and then just click the next box, and it'll highlight them. So in this case, we would be looking at all the centers, power forwards, and point guards. And then if you just want to reset it, just click that little box up here, and that will get that reset. And I say that and it's not working. Funny. But it does work. It's just not working on my video. Same thing over here with the times. So like if you're trying to look at slate specific stuff, and say you're only trying to look at the express slate, you can come down here and you can highlight the express slates or things of that sort. And just kind of give you a breakdown by time. And then lastly, of course, you can do the same thing over here with the teams. If you only want to see folks from Boston, Golden State, and the Lakers, that'll filter all that information out. And then now you'll go through and you'll see that information as it updates. So just some quick tools to kind of help you build quick lineups. Don't forget that if you have any questions or if you want to discuss anything, you can tweet us at WiseTake_data, and we will be glad to answer any of your questions. And I'm sorry, it's not WiseTake Data, it's WiseTake_Model is actually the Twitter name. And if you have any suggestions for the site, any suggestions that you want to see built up or anything like that, get at me, and I will be glad to see if I can make that happen for you. And I will be back next time to make another video. All right, nation, go win some money.